Hello, this is Walter from the digital marketing team. Today I'm going to show you how to embed a form on your page. First of all, log into your Perfectmind database. Go to your marketing tab, website settings. On your website setting page, go to manage forms. So the first thing you want to do is basically create a new form for this. Now, based on what page you want to embed this, name it accordingly. That way you can find it much easier next time. So my page is going to be my test page. So I'm going to call it test. And then member profile, no profile. The object is going to be the contact object. The page layout. Now, use the online form simple. That's got the 4 fields. Your campaign name should also be the actual page name. That way you can find them very easily. So I'm going to call it test page and go ahead and save it. Now, you can add a title in here if you want. I'm not going to because I have basically the title on the page. I'll show you in a minute. The submit button, you can change this to mine is going to be need more info because that's what my page is based on. And the return URL, this can be basically when somebody fills out the form, it will direct them to a new page if you wanted to do that. For instance, like a thank you page or whatnot. So you would just input your information here, for example. And let me just show you what I am talking about here. So for example, let me go into my organized pages. Now this is in social site, of course. So if you have a third-party website, your navigation is going to be a little different, but you want to go into your pages, and I'm going to find my thank you page, which is this guy. So I'm going to basically view my thank you page so I can pull the appropriate link. So this is my link to my thank you page, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that, go back into my form that I'm working on, and I'm going to add my return URL here. So as soon as somebody fills out this form, I will then basically have them go to the thank you page. Now, because these pages are in Perfectmind, I do not need the domain name. But if you are working a third-party website, you are going to need to place your domain in front of this, just so it knows where to go. All right, so I've got that. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, so once it's saved, I can now basically apply the simplified layout. Now, color theme. You probably want to add a theme to it. So if you add none, it's going to be just black and blue. So if that's your color scheme, great. If not, you probably want to adjust that. So add a theme to it. Normally, I would suggest to create a new theme and call it test page. Now, the 3 fields that you need to worry about for the form is the main color. So I'm going to make mine red because my page is black and red basically. So I'm going to use that. My mail content color, I'm going to keep that as white. Or you can basically have it as transparent. So either or you can just keep it to the same background color that the page is, which mine is white, so I'm going to leave mine white. Then the other one is the page background color. Again, mine is white, so I can leave it as white. Or I can basically set it as transparent so there's no color whatsoever. So either way, the transparency button is at the bottom here. Just set it to 0 and that field will be transparent. I'm going to keep mine white because my background is white. Once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and save my page. Or my theme, I should say. Now, as soon as my theme is saved, it will take me back to the actual manage form page that I'm working on. So from here, make sure that you click simplified layout once again. And make sure that the color theme you added is basically in the theme. Now you have to grab the iframe. This is the actual link that you add to your page. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it. So I highlighted it, right-clicked, and copied it. Now I want to go into my page. So I'm going to go into Organized Pages. Again, if you have a third-party website, your navigation is going to be different. So going to your web editor, if you're using WordPress, going to pages, find the page you are looking for. So mine is under programs in Perfectmind, and it's my test page. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that. Alright, so in a second here you're going to see my page. Alright, so as you can see, need more information, fill out the form below. So basically my form needs to go right under that line. So I'm going to go into HTML. Now the iframe has to be embedded in the HTML section of your page. So not in design mode, but in HTML. So make sure you're in the HTML area. And then fill out the form below is where I want to place it right below. So I'm going to enter my line in here. And I'm going to go ahead and paste my iframe. Now if I change to design view, you should be able to see the form appear in here for you. Alright, so now from here, all you need to do is go ahead and save your page, and you've embedded the actual form on your actual page now. And now we can go into that test page and we can just view it. And there's my form. Now, in case you want to get rid of the border, basically go back into the page HTML area, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. So click HTML. Now, right after the width, right after the semicolon and before the quotation ends, go ahead and make a space, border, colon, space, 0, semicolon. Now if I go back into design, you're going to see that now that area or rectangle is gone around your form. So make sure that you add right after the 100% semicolon to the width, you're going to add this little snippet, border, colon, 0, semicolon. That's going to take care of the rectangular border added for you. Now, if you're embedding this into Perfectmind, great. This is all you need. If you're going to embed this form into your own website, third-party website, you're going to have to change the actual URL. So inside of the URL, you're going to have to actually have the full domain. So for example, if I go to my thank you page, you can see that my domain to your database is, mine is graciebaja.perfectmind.com. So you need to get all that domain and go back into your HTML here and place it right in front of the quotation mark of the URL itself. So basically, again, if you have a third-party website, you must put the Perfectmind domain or your unique URL in front of the iframe that the Perfectmind basically gives you. Otherwise, it's not going to recognize where the URL is coming from. The only reason I don't need it is because I'm embedding the Perfectmind form inside a Perfectmind page. Therefore, I don't need the unique URL of Perfectmind. But if you are embedding this on a WordPress website or 97 Display, whoever website provider you're using, make sure that you use your unique URL in front of the iframe. Again, just so you know what I'm talking about, when the iframe is generated from the Perfectmind database, it does not add the URL in front. As you can see here, it's missing the actual domain. It starts off with the /, the folder number, marketing, so forth and so on. But if you are going to embed this form on a third-party website, you have to add your Perfectmind URL in front of it to work. So now, if I go into design, you're going to see my form there. Go ahead and save it, and you now have an embedded form on your web page. Any questions about this, you can always call our support agents at 877-774-5425, extension 2. Thank you for listening, and I'm hoping this will benefit all you guys, generating some new leads. Have a wonderful day, and